Every year, thousands of experienced riders quietly walk away from motorcycles, and almost none of them will tell you the real reason why. It's not age. It's not ability. It's the bike. The wrong machine will grind a rider down long before the road ever does. Not in a dramatic way, just slowly. The low-speed wobble at a parking lot exit. The lower back that starts talking to you around mile 30. The moment you realize you're managing the bike instead of riding it. And here's what most people never find out. Dealerships already know exactly which bike solved that problem. They just don't volunteer it. Today, we're counting down 7 lightweight cruisers that have quietly become the sharpest, most rider-focused machines in their class. No compromises on comfort. No compromises on control. Just bikes that were designed around how real people actually ride. And that number one spot, that bike has been sitting in plain sight for years. Most riders over 60 have never even heard of it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why it belongs at the top. Let's get into it. We start in a place that a lot of riders overlook because the badge on the tank doesn't carry the same weight as the American or Japanese giants. But that's exactly what makes the Royal Enfield Meteor 350 worth your attention. This bike is built around a single idea: effortless riding. The engine is a 349 cubic centimeters single-cylinder unit, and Royal Enfield spent years engineering the vibration out of it. That matters more than most people realize. Vibration is the silent killer of long rides. It numbs your hands, tightens your shoulders, and turns a 2-hour ride into an ordeal. The Meteor keeps things smooth enough that you almost forget the engine is working at all. The riding position is relaxed and upright, with wide, pulled-back bars that let your arms sit naturally at your sides. The seat is generous. The bike weighs just around 430 pounds wet, which means maneuvering in a parking lot doesn't feel like wrestling a bear. And the price? In a segment full of $4,000 and $5,000 decisions, the Meteor comes in well under $4,000 in most markets. For a rider who wants to get back in the saddle without a massive financial commitment, this is one of the most sensible starting points available right now. From sensible, we move to something a little more spirited. The Kawasaki Eliminator 450 is the newest machine on this list, and Kawasaki built it with a specific kind of rider in mind. Someone who wants a cruiser that actually moves when you need it to. The parallel twin engine produces enough power to feel genuinely confident on the highway without ever feeling like it's trying to get away from you. The low seat height, sitting right around 27.6 inches, means flat-footing this bike is comfortable for a wide range of riders. And at around 430 pounds, it sits in that sweet spot where it feels substantial but never intimidating. What makes the Eliminator interesting from a real-world ownership perspective is reliability. Kawasaki's engineering track record on their smaller displacement twins is excellent. These engines don't ask for much. Regular maintenance, reasonable fuel costs, and you can pile on the miles without constantly wondering what's about to go wrong. For riders re-entering the hobby after a long break, that peace of mind is worth more than any spec sheet number. Now, if comfort for the long haul is your primary language, the Honda Rebel 500 speaks it fluently. Honda engineered this bike's ergonomics with unusual care. The seat-to-peg-to-bar triangle feels natural from the very first mile. There's no adjustment period. No sitting on it thinking, I'll get used to this eventually. Your body just fits. The parallel twin engine is smooth, predictable, and genuinely fun through the mid-range. It pulls cleanly from low speeds, which reduces the cognitive load in stop-and-go traffic. And for anyone whose confidence has taken a hit after a long layoff, that ease of throttle response is quietly reassuring. The Rebel 500 also comes with Honda's legendary reliability baked in. These machines are virtually bulletproof with basic upkeep. They hold their resale value well. And at around 408 pounds, they're among the lightest bikes in this price class. One thing worth mentioning here, the seat on the stock Rebel 500 is decent, but not exceptional. A quality aftermarket seat upgrade transforms this bike from comfortable to genuinely plush. And speaking of plush, hold on to that thought, because there's a bike coming up on this list that takes seat comfort to a level that makes everything else feel like a park bench by comparison. The Yamaha Bolt RSpec carries something the other bikes on this list don't quite have, so Yamaha built the Bolt around a 942 cubic centimeters air-cooled V-twin that produces a sound and a feeling that is unmistakably old-school American cruiser, despite coming out of Japan. The torque delivery is fat and satisfying through the low and mid-range. Pull away from stoplight and there's this thick, rolling surge of power that makes you grin every single time. The RSpec trim adds a rear suspension upgrade over the standard Bolt, and that single change makes a meaningful difference on rough pavement. Less chatter, better road feedback, the kind of refinement that experienced riders notice immediately. At just 543 pounds, the Bolt punches well above its weight in terms of feel and presence. It looks like a bigger, heavier machine than it actually is. Wide bars, a low center of gravity, and classic bobber styling give it a visual presence on the road that turns heads without demanding anything extra from you physically. This is a bike that rewards miles. The more you ride it, the more it feels like it was made specifically for you. Halfway through our list, and we need to talk about the Indian Scout 60, because this is where things get serious. Indian built the Scout 60 around a 999 cubic centimeters V-twin that delivers a riding experience that is, without exaggeration, in a different league from the competition. The engine is refined in a way that surprises first-time riders. It pulls hard, it sounds incredible, and it manages to feel both powerful and completely manageable at the same time. The chassis is low-slung and confidence-inspiring. The center of gravity sits so low that the 60 almost steers itself through corners. Experienced riders describe it as intuitive. It does what you want before you've fully committed to wanting it. Indian's build quality is exceptional. The fit and finish on a Scout 60 looks and feels like a machine that costs significantly more than the sticker price. Chrome details, quality leather on the seat, and paint depth that stands out even in a dealership full of competitors. If you've been riding for decades and you want a machine that matches that experience, a bike that respects the road time you've already put in, the Scout 60 makes a compelling argument that starts the moment you throw a leg over it. From legendary American metal, we shift to something that completely challenges the traditional cruiser formula. The Kawasaki Vulcan S isn't just adjustable. It's adjustable in ways that matter specifically to riders who know their bodies have preferences. Kawasaki built the Vulcan S with an ErgoFit system that lets you modify the seat position, handlebar reach, and foot peg location to match your exact body geometry. That sounds like a marketing point until you actually experience it. Riders who spent years dealing with lower back discomfort on poorly fitted bikes describe the first properly adjusted ride on a Vulcan South as something close to a revelation. The 649 cubic centimeters parallel twin is smooth and linear, with enough torque to feel comfortable on two-lane highways and confident enough for occasional interstate stretches. Wind protection isn't included in the stock configuration, but the aftermarket support for the Vulcan S is strong. A small windscreen transforms the highway riding experience dramatically. At around 498 pounds, it sits light enough to handle easily in slow-speed situations, which is where many riders over 60 have the most anxiety. That confidence at low speed, through parking lots, tight U-turns, slow traffic, is genuinely life-changing for a rider who spent years fighting a heavier machine. The Vulcan S is proof that the best motorcycle isn't always the most expensive one. Sometimes it's the one that was engineered around you. And then there is the Honda Rebel 1100 DCT. If everything else on this list represents smart choices, the Rebel 1100 with the dual clutch transmission represents something bigger. It represents Honda looking at the way experienced riders actually live, the occasional long run, the aging joints, the desire for maximum enjoyment with minimum effort, and engineering a direct solution. The DCT system changes everything. You get the feel of a traditional cruiser with the option to never touch a clutch lever again. For riders with wrist or hand issues, that's not a convenience. That's the difference between riding and not riding. The transmission reads your speed and throttle input and shifts with intelligence that, after 10 minutes, you stop thinking about entirely. It just works. The 1,084 cubic centimeters parallel twin produces smooth accessible power that feels absolutely planted on the highway. Honda engineered this engine for long-distance comfort, not showroom numbers. It stays cool, stays smooth, and pulls with a confident authority that never feels aggressive or anxious. The seat is extraordinary. Wide, well-padded, shaped to support you through 4-hour stretches without the fatigue that destroys shorter rides on lesser machines. The riding position is natural. The weight, at around 490 pounds, is managed so well by the low center of gravity that it handles closer to a 400-pound bike in real-world use. And the reliability story? This is Honda. The Rebel 1100 will be starting on the first press of the button 5 years from now with the same enthusiasm it has on day one. That track record of dependability, combined with everything else this machine offers, makes it impossible to put anything else at the top of this list. The Rebel 1100 DCD isn't just the best lightweight cruiser for riders over 60. It might be the best cruiser for any rider who has finally figured out that riding should feel good, not just look good. So there it is. 7 bikes. 7 different answers to the same question. How do you keep riding comfortably as the years stack up? Now I want to hear from you. Drop it in the comments. Have you ridden any of these? And which one do you think is the most underrated cruiser on this entire list?